ICT in the dairy sector. This may be defined as the use of information, communication, and technology within the sector. How has the dairy industry embraced ICT? The dairy industry in Kenya is still at its infancy as regards to ICT. 95% of the operations in the dairy sector are manual or semi-automated. This can be attributed to the following factors. Dairies are rural-based. Communication infrastructure is a challenge. Yeah? Most dairies do not even have basic internet connection. The cost of automation and computerization is high and prohibitive. So the dairies do think. And then limited ICT service providers in the sector. You've all heard this is the first e-dairy conference. The sector has not been automated for the last 50 years. So we'll give you a typical farmer behavior without automation. A farmer milks his cow and gets 20.1 kg. He adds about a cup of water, tops it up to 20.5 kgs. Delivers his milk to the collection center. The clerk weighs the milk, determines its weight is 20.4 kgs, but records 20 kgs, manual system, 20 kgs. And he accounts this to the scale. It's an analog scale. Spillage, a bit of this milk is pouring, half a kg will vanish. The farmer, in this case, loses 0.1 kg, including his water that he added. If the farmer did not add that water, he could have easily lost a cool half a kg of milk. The practice is weighment to the nearest 0.5. The clerks know about this, so does the farmer, so we are all wise. At the dairy, milk collection is consolidated and transported to the processor. Again, at this stage, the amount of water has increased to or by 23%. How? Well, is it the transporter, the clerk, or is it still the farmer? We still don't know. At the dairy again, the majority of operations are manual or semi-automated, large volumes of data. An A3 size book called the milk register is used to record monthly intake on which basis farmer payments are generated. Pay slips are handwritten and most dairies pay 10 to 15 days into the new month. Why? The amount of work is a lot. The operations are both labor intensive and as well as extensive. At the dairy, duplicate records are actually a commonplace. We were out in very many dairies. We went to dairy A. They told us we have 2,800 registered farmers. We said, oh, this is a lot of work. We got down to it. We found out, actually, they have 450 active farmers now. Finally, when all the papers were brought together. Then eventually we found that in all these, 288 were duplicates. But what really saddened us more, we also had ghost farmers. In Dairy B, you'll note there's a star up there on Dairy B. 13,500 registered farmers. Active farmers, 6,500. Whoa, it's a lot of work. We actually discovered 560 duplicate records. 155 ghost farmers. But why we have a star there is that the records at that particular dairy also had duplicate records up till the bank. Duplicate account numbers. Richard Batanda, number 240. Richard Batanda, number 240. 2 duplicate account numbers up till the bank. That's the state of the dairy industry. The farmer, after automation, the immediate results of the digital scale deployment. Accurate weighment. From, you remember the 20.1, when we started weighing accurately, the farmer on a monthly basis now gained his actual 10 extra kgs. He saw his revenue going up by $5 in that one particular month. He saw his annual output now became 120 kgs. For that particular farmer, there were about 100 farmers on that particular route. That literally translated to about $500 to all those farmers. This money is not coming. We are actually recovering that money that has actually been lost due to no automation. 1 million farmers times $5 per each, I bet you know, the farmers can actually afford automation. That's about $5 million US. I mean, you'll understand. At the end of the year, we'll probably be talking about $60 million US. I mean, bankers, insurance companies, now can go to the farmer. The farmer will be able to afford medical health with his $60. The farmer can also now afford a loan. He'll be able to pay with his extra money from his same produce. Still, we continue the impact on the farmer. He had increased revenue from the same produce due to precise weighment. Take away the analog scale, bring in the digital scale. Now, those extra estimates won't be anymore. Timely monthly payments, access to produce statements. He's now able to access his statements in real time. He's now sure that he's delivered 120 kgs. He's going to be paid for that. Yeah? Renewed confidence. Now the farmers have stopped adding water. They have also stopped actually doing what? Selling to hawkers. It's now getting back to the mainstream of business. The only reason about that is automation, precision. Then we have farmers. The farmers can now access financial services. Bankers, back in the day, you walk to the bank, you have 400 cows, you're a farmer, you want to get a loan, and the bank manager asks you, I need a statement for the last 6 months. Can you get it to me? You go back to your dairy to go and get your statement of produce. You can't get it maybe until after another 6 months as well, because we are computing. When we go to the impact on the dairy, immediate benefits. The dairy saw an increase in milk collection on that particular route of 99 kgs daily. Yeah. That translates to about something like 2,700 kgs per week for that dairy on that single route. Why? They used to say, we're going to cut off some of this milk because of spillage or inaccuracy. But no, indeed, the dairies actually also gain. If the farmer gets more payment by $5, then the dairy must be collecting more. And surely the dairy was collecting 90 more kgs per day from the same number of farmers, from the same estimated amount of produce. Providing automation has indeed rescued the dairy from unaccounted for loss of milk as well as to the hawkers. Now the farmers are actually getting back. Timely automated farmer payments, accuracy and efficiency in the dairy operation, leading to less labor requirements, and then of course simplified data capturing. We're no longer doing the manual work that way. Impact to the processor, better quality milk, less rejects back to the dairies, which becomes a loss to the dairy and a loss to the farmer. Increased quantity delivered, meaning full processor capacity utilization, with the realization of full traceability, dairy products, a wider market access is expected of finished dairy products. Recommendations, what the government can do. The government can actually enforce dairy automation, standardization, and implementation policies. Regulation and suitable supervisory framework, farmer and other stakeholder mobilization, funding, what can stakeholders and development partners do? Meaningful collaboration in project farming, funding, and farmer groups mobilization. The processors actually play a very serious role. If you really want to get into that market out there, we actually told Kenya is the second largest producer of milk in Africa. About 4.2 billion liters annually. Nigeria has about a population of 150 million. If you walked into the supermarkets in Nigeria, there's no Kenyan milk, there's no KCC, there's no Brookside. The shelves are filled with Denmark, UK, Europe, I think even Asia. So the processors must play a vital role if the must assist Kenya Dairy Board justify traceability and enable you have your products onto those shelves. An example, Nigeria.